Hey guys, I'm doing a Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit book video. Now you might be wondering about the title. Well, that's a bit of a joke about FNaF YouTubers. They usually clickbait their titles, and the main FNaF YouTubers, Dorco, Fusion, they haven't done any video on this book, so I'm just going to be doing this for Reddit and the FNaF community. So yeah. So the first story is Into the Pit. Now it's about this kid Oswald. He he goes into Jess, which is a pizzeria after Freddy Fazbear's closes down, and he finds a time traveling ball pit around the and he turns up in Freddy Fazbear's when it originally was, and interestingly enough, it was 1985, and 1985 was tossed around all over the place, so it's most likely that when we see later on in 1985 again, Spring Bonnie basically murders a whole lot of children, but he's like an organic, monstrous version of Spring Bonnie. So it's presumably that those we have two missing children incident type events happening in two different universes: the Into the Pit universe in 1985 and the novel universe in 1985. So it seems that 1985 is the May is not it's 95% confirmed that 1985 is the date of the missing children incident in the game universe. Now I'm not going to really spoil much of the book, as you should get this book. The three short stories are all good, but just in the end it's a bit of a happy ending, and it raises some interesting questions which I will go on later about sort of the lore of what all these books are sort of tying into. Now, the second book, To Be Beautiful, is about a girl, Sarah. She's self-conscious about her body, and she finds a baby-like creature, baby-like animatronic called Eleanor, and she says, "Look, I can make you happy put on, if you put on this pendant, and each day you'll look more and more beautiful." And of course, Sarah, as the days progress, things change about her. Her weight, as she felt that she was a bit fat, it goes down, and her nose and everything, she begins become more beautiful, is what she considers beautiful. And then towards the end of the novel, of course, Baby says, don't, Eleanor says, don't take off the pendant. And one day she finally does, and then she starts begin turning into garbage, which is rather nice. And then towards the end, it's revealed that Eleanor was harvesting her body parts, and she ends up becoming babe, like a sort of like a she looks very human-like, using some what appears to be illusion discs. So could illusion discs be canon in the games universe? And I'll talk more about this book, as it does get mentioned a bit earlier in the teaser. The next one, Count the Ways, is about a Millie, a golf girl. She's sort of one day she after feeling just sort of upset, she crawls into fun Funtime Freddy, and he says, basically gives her all these options on how to kill herself, which are very torturous. And in the end, she I'm not going to really spoil much of the book, but it's left vague of whether she survives or not. And overall, it doesn't really have much impact on the game lore, like how Into the Pit had sort of 1985 being linked to the missing children incident, and To Be Beautiful being linked to illusion discs. But now on to the teaser. So and then there's like a detective, and he's got all the he's it's after a long day at work, sort of his boss comes over and says, "Oh, I've got this case file to look at, which is the STITCHWRAITH." And no one really wants to talk about it. But then he says that he talks about an investigation that happened a week ago about a girl named Sarah who turned into garbage, and that is very much To Be Beautiful. So it seems that To Be Beautiful is very much canon. So of course the illusion discs, which makes Mike Barton the nightmares are real or just a plushies or something. It makes the theories much more concrete, but that's not really the most interesting thing about is that the STITCHWRAITH, it's like a hooded figure that goes around and has murdered about 5 people. And the victims, however, strangely enough, are all withered, and they have like black blood streaming out of their eyes. But the description of the STITCHWRAITH is that it's a big tall character. It's got a hoodie on, like a hood or cape or some kind of rag, and it's got a white humanoid face with what looks like to be black markings on it. Now, of course, a lot of people have been speculating on who it could be. Could it be Vanessa from at the end of Curse of Jedbear and in the AR emails? Could it be Enid? Well, I think I know what it might be. Now, I saw this on Reddit just today by Enry06 saying that Into the Pit it has Spring Bonnie, which of course becomes Springtrap in FNaF 6. Same with Eleanor is Baby, and she becomes Great Baby, and count the ways the Funtime Freddy becomes Molten Freddy. Now, these are all the characters that we face up against, but there's one person that's missing, the puppet. Now, there's another thing that isn't really mentioned in Into the Pit. The bowl is out of order. Now, presumably it's because it might be stinky or whatever, but why would an out of order pit suddenly be a portal to this strange place? Now, I think that something before Oswald, before Spring Bonnie, came out of it. Now, what could it be? I believe it was the puppet, the STITCHWRAITH. And not just the STITCHWRAITH, not just the puppet, Nightmare On. It's perfect. It fits up perfectly. We've got a white humanoid face. We've got black markings, and of course, and the Detective Larson talks about how the eyes are darkened. They're darkened, and also interesting enough, one of the teeth is broken. But that might just be something that happened in a scuffle, maybe. And another thing is that 2 of the victims had criminal records. They had very big, intimate criminal records. Now, the boss does say that they might have just tried to jump it, but I don't think that's the case because the puppet had a criminal record within it. It knew which ones are innocent to protect against a future MCI incident, which of course didn't happen in FNaF 2. William still killed 5 children. And another thing is that in Help Wanted, there is a disclaimer about real-world manifestations of characters. I believe that Spring Bonnie is a real-world manifestation of Spring Bonnie, and the STITCHWRAITH is a real-world manifestation of Nightmare On. And that's today's video. I've done what Dorko and Fusion probably aren't going to do, so yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and yeah.